All right, welcome. Today, we're doing a deep dive, zooming in on just one single sentence. It's a powerful verse from the book of Revelation that pretty much acts as a secret identity card for a group called the Saints, right in the middle of all this cosmic chaos. So let's decode it.
So, here it is. This is our focus. Revelation 14, verse 12. You can see it right there in its original Greek and in the classic English translation. Believe it or not, this one verse is like a spiritual anchor, and it defines the saints with some pretty incredible clarity.
And honestly, that's what makes it so fascinating. I mean, when you think of Revelation, you think of dragons, beasts, cosmic battles, total upheaval. But then, smack in the middle of all that, we get this incredibly calm, clear, and grounded statement. It's not a vision, it's a definition.
So that begs the question, right? What does it actually take to be one of the saints? Well, it turns out the answer is encoded, literally hidden in plain sight right there in the original Greek. We just have to know how to read it. Okay, first up, we're going to have to do a little linguistic detective work. We're going to break down 3 absolutely crucial power words from this verse to really get the full weight and meaning of what's being said. Let's start with the very first word used to describe them, hypomone. Now, it's often translated as patience, but, that word in English feels a little passive. The Greek original is so much stronger. It means endurance, steadfastness, this active perseverance while you're under pressure. And this is just so important to get. This isn't about gritting your teeth and just waiting for something bad to be over. No, hypomone is an active, resilient force. It's the quality that lets you hold on and stay true when absolutely everything around you is screaming at you to just give up. The next power word is the verb terio. We see it translated as keep, like in they that keep the commandments. But again, the Greek is way richer. It means to guard, to observe, to hold fast to something as if it were incredibly precious. You see the difference? This isn't about mindlessly ticking off a list of rules. The word stereo points to a deep, relational commitment. It's about protecting and cherishing the commandments because you value the one who gave them. It's really an act of loyalty. And our final power word is pistis. This one's pretty famous, usually translated as faith. But it also carries this beautiful double meaning of faithfulness, trust, and a firm belief. And as we're about to see, whose faithfulness we're talking about, well, that might be the most important part of this entire verse. Okay, so now that we have our ingredients, our 3 key words, let's see how they come together. These words basically form what we can call the 3 pillars of a saint's identity. So that first pillar is that patience, our word hypomone. This is an active endurance right through the middle of hardship. It's an unshaken loyalty that just refuses to let go, even when the pressure to compromise is immense. It's, to put it simply, the spiritual muscle to just hold on. And this isn't some isolated idea, It's echoed elsewhere in the New Testament. The book of Hebrews connects this exact same need for patience, for endurance, directly to receiving God's promise. It's like the bridge between doing God's will and actually seeing the result. The second pillar is keeping God's commandments, and it is so crucial to get this right. This is not about some legalistic checklist of old covenant laws. Not at all. It's about a faithful obedience that flows out of a relationship built on love and trust. So what are these commandments, really? Well, the Apostle John just boils it down for us perfectly right here. He says the core commandment is this: to believe in Jesus and to love one another. That's the heart of it all, trust and love, not a bunch of rules and regulations. And now we get to the third and honestly the most profound pillar. The original Greek grammar allows for a really subtle but absolutely game-changing translation. It might not mean our faith in Jesus, but actually the faith of Jesus. Think about what that means. This means the endurance of the saints isn't powered by their own strength of belief. It's powered by Jesus' own perfect faithfulness, his own obedience. Because they are united with him, his victory, his trust in the Father actually becomes their inner strength. They endure because he was faithful. So, okay, let's step back and put it all together. We've seen the individual pieces, now let's look at the complete picture. Because this isn't just a list of good qualities. This is a mark of identity. And this identity is so important because it's presented in Revelation as a direct contrast to another identity marker, one you've probably heard of,
the infamous mark of the beast. This verse is the counter image, the other side of the coin.
And I mean, the contrast could not be more stark. Look at this. Where followers of the beast are marked by restlessness, rebellion, and ultimately the worship of self, the saints are defined by patient endurance, loving obedience, and a complete union with Jesus. These are two fundamentally different ways of being in the world.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Why should a deep dive into one ancient verse actually matter to us?
Ultimately, what we see is that the identity of the saints isn't something achieved through sheer willpower. It's something that's received. It's this act of life built on three pillars: the endurance to hold on, an obedience that flows from love, and, this is the most crucial part, the power of Jesus' own faithfulness working through them.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? This verse paints a powerful portrait of spiritual endurance from almost 2,000 years ago. The question for us is, in a world with very different pressures and very different trials, what might that same portrait of endurance look like today?